What do you do when the institution you're leading is bigger than you, older than you, and more resistant to change than anything you've ever encountered? And people are watching every move you make. That is not a hypothetical for local government leaders. That is your Tuesday. I'm Seth Winterhalter. This week inside the MLDC, we're diving into the book The Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger, his memoir of 15 years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. I want to tell you up front, you may be thinking Disney, Hollywood, a guy running the most beloved entertainment brand on the planet. What does this have to do with running a city or a county? I'd argue more than I think you'd expect. If you strip away the acquisitions, right? Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm. What Iger is actually describing is the experience of leading a large, complex, legacy institution under incredible public scrutiny with a deeply embedded culture, skeptical stakeholders, and very little margin for visible failure. If that doesn't sound like local government, I'm not quite sure what does. This book is built around 10 leadership principles that Iger developed across his career. Things like optimism, courage, decisiveness, focus, integrity. What makes the book worth your time isn't just the list, it's the texture of how these principles actually played out in real high-stakes situations, the decisions that kept him up at night, the moments where the easier path was right there and he chose the harder one anyway, the places where he got it wrong, and what he learned from it. This week, inside the MLDC, that's our Municipal Leadership Development Circle, we're going to take some of these principles and we're going to translate them specifically into the local government context that you live in. The challenges Iger faced at Disney and the challenges you face as a city manager, a county administrator, or a department head, they have real overlap, even though they're not identical. The political dynamics are different. The accountability structures are different. The workforce realities are different. So we do that translation work carefully every day this week in both the blog and in the podcast that you get inside this private community. Here's a little taste of what members are going to work through. Iger has a line about priorities. I think it's one of the most practically useful things for local government leaders because I see this over and over and over, and I preach on it. I feel like I'm a Teddy Roosevelt bully pulpit preacher on it. He argues that if you do not communicate your priorities clearly and repeatedly, the people around you will not know what to own, and they experience an unnecessary anxiety as a result. It's not the anxiety of hard work, it's the anxiety of not knowing where to point their effort. In local government, where ambiguity is almost a default operating condition, this observation, I think, is going to cut deep. We'll look at chronic indecision and how it is deeply corrosive to morale. We'll talk about framing integrity as a secret weapon and what that actually looks like. Every day, we're going to look at one insight and really dive deep. This book, The Ride of a Lifetime, it's a great read on its own, but if you want to work through it in the company of other local government leaders, that's why we've built the MLDC, not just for amazing content, but this dynamic community. Head over to HaltingWinter.com/MLDC. Use the link in the show notes. Learn more and join us. I'm Seth Winterhalter. Thanks for joining me on the Halting Winter podcast. Until next time, keep leading with impact.